Well, good morning and welcome to Zen Live on this beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is shining, the sky is blue here in the center of the world, Blackstone, Virginia, but then you too are the center of the world. So, I'm still, Wonder Woman that we saw Friday night is still popping in my mind, connecting dots. I've been reading Joseph Chilton's Pierce, Religion of the Heart, and so this, dots keep connecting. But then let's really jump out and connect another dot, is Trump's attack on the NFL. Now, I'm expecting the games today will have something to say about that, I'm sure. We'll see how it unfolds. But how does that connect up to Wonder Woman? Let's take a look. So I wrote up here today, Trump as the president of pop. Now, and then yesterday, my wife went to Walmart and I was just getting my coffee. And she got this jar of popcorn. And we live in pop culture. It's a great metaphor, pop culture, because it refers to popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. You notice when you do popcorn, you throw it in there and you wait, and then one pop pops. Pop. And then all the others go pop, 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 until it becomes a crescendo. Pop, 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 and then silence. So you have the heat, and you have a kernel thrown in there. You wait, pop, and then pop, 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 pop. So Pop is the president of pop. And I thought it ironic that here we have two potentially existential crises bookending Trump: Iran, North Korea. Not to mention all the health care and the hurricanes. You realize how many hurricanes and national disasters we've had in 1 month? We've had media saturation of hurricanes. So, what does Trump do when faced with these potentially existential crises of real life and death? He throws a kernel into pop culture. So he attacks the NFL. And when Trump throws a popcorn kernel into pop culture, he does a tweet or whatever, it's like pop, and then media goes pop, 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 pop. Nobody's looking at the bookends. Nobody's looking at the crises. Nobody's looking anywhere. All we hear is the pop, 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 pop. And then it's all cooked. And then he throws another one in. Pop, 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 pop. And then it goes silent. But before you can't eat this, you can't eat pop culture because it's always popping. You never get to eat it because it's just always popping. Every day it's a new pop. That's what pop culture is. Popular culture. Pop culture. And this is where we live. This is what we have been. We have created. We created this media, the TV, the advertising, all Mad Men. It's all in Mad Men. The TV, the advertising, the billboards, the print. And then, of course, the internet, which is an interactive TV, basically. The original TV was passive. You just sat there and looked at it and ate whatever came to you. You didn't have any say. Then the internet comes along and suddenly, I would rather have a chicken instead of beef. Whereas before, you just ate what it was given to you. Now we can choose, you see. So now that creates an interactive pop culture, Whereas before we had a passive pop culture. But fundamentally, this just gets us more involved in it. Because now we think it's fun. I mean, I can change things around. I can go on, I can tweet to the news now. The news used to be a transmission of information to us passively. Now we transmit information to the news and it interacts. And so the news reporter is looking at the tweets. Oh, look at all the tweets going on. So we're interacting. So now we have pop culture interacting instead of being a passive consumer. This is a tremendous evolution of culture. But it's still culture. Only now it's more in training. It's more involving. It's got more pops. Now I'm making a pop. Now YouTube. Put a pop, make a pop of yourself on YouTube and it goes pop, pop, pop all over and you make money. Or fame. You throw a good popcorn into pop media and pop, 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 pop. Well, I got 2 million pops. But then it's all gone. Because somebody else is throwing something in. So if you look at media, pop media, the media / culture, it's all one frying pan. Going pop, 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 pop. And we think, wow, there's a new pop. How many pops did you get? I throw a pop out on Facebook and I get a few pops back. Oh, well, I got a pop. I need to get more pops. I need to fix my blog up and everything so I can get more, or my YouTube account so I can get more pops. I want more pops. Pops is how I value myself now. How many pops do you get? Oh, I got 50 pops. Well, I got 200 pops. Loser. So anyway, this is what living in pop culture is like. We just watch the pops. A movie comes out. How many pops did it get? Oh, it got how much money? How much pops did it get? The Vietnam War. So we watched the documentary, and I think it comes back on tonight, watching Ken Burns, and that was the pop war. McNamara measured we were winning by how many pops? Bodies. How many bodies can you count? Well, we killed 5,000 VC and only lost 100. We're winning. And the whole strategy of Westmoreland was to kill more Vietnamese before they could pop anymore. In other words, to shift the popping from popping them off faster than they could repop themselves. Pop. It's also, he got popped. So I just love this idea that President Trump is the president of pop. That's what he's the pop president. He's not a real president, he's a pop president because he is president of pop culture. And the tragedy is we're so entrained, enculturated, that we believe this pop culture is real. And now we get back to Wonder Woman. So Wonder Woman is a movie, a story to wake up by. Adolescents know it. I mean, she's an adolescent. The X-Men and the superheroes come out of adolescent comic books, adolescent hero stories. Why do adolescents, why are they infatuated with X-Men and hero stories? Well, they're in the process of being brainwashed into culture. And they remember their lost heroism of childhood. See, a child creates the world through play, and he is his own hero. He creates a world of play. And he knows it. He is the creator of it. But then we're enculturated into, then adolescence is the bridge from this childhood grounded reality into a cultural grounded reality, so that there is a shift in identity in adolescence from the heart to the head. from the heart that is creative to the head that is reactive. So now the identity shifts to a social self. And that's why adolescents are all concerned with peer relationships and who am I and all that, because they have to create this identity in this culture. So they've created their own adolescent culture as a intermediate zone before they have to get married and get a job and go to work and work for retirement and die on the golf course. The Graduate. All these movies, Rebel Without a Cause. All these movies are about this. So many movies are about the sacrifice of your heart from childhood and the transition to sacrificing yourself for culture. See, culture needs sacrifice in order for it to maintain itself. Culture needs war in order to maintain itself. Culture is war. And this is what Wonder Woman was all about. War. See, the Amazons were a metaphor for the pure heart. The pure heart that just had a single will. It wasn't divided into ambiguity, this or that, right or wrong, enemy, us, enemy. You see this duality of culture. This duality of culture, this fundamental belief of culture that the universe, that the world is hostile, creates war. It creates the other. The immigrants are going to come get us, put up a wall. The barbarians are coming to get us, put up a wall. Beyond the pale. See, even that phrase right there was about the Norman English putting up England putting up a wall to keep the barbarians out, the Celtics and the Irish and all that. So they're beyond the pale, beyond the wall. So this duality is set up that maintains culture of us against them. And it just morphs into everything. But the heart, you see, is universal. The heart is what you could say is Christ. Love your enemy. Take down the wall. The heart is one. That's the ground. But culture makes it two. And then we enculturate into it, and we have an identity into it. So now we have to support the culture and its wars in order to maintain my identity and my place and my value. You see, so culture gives me a value according to its terms, according to its view of duality, which splits me in two. So now I'm looking for my ground, my heart, in culture. And you can't do it. So this is why Wonder Woman is such a great metaphor for me, because she is like this, our heart before we got enculturated. So she comes back into culture in order to reconnect us to our heart. In order to reconnect us and deconstruct the culturalization, deconstruct the duality, and reconnect us to the unity. So getting back to Trump as president of pop, you see, you could almost say in the mythic terms that Trump is the god of Ares, the one that Wonder Woman came to kill. The god of culture and pop, you see, that divides the world into two. So whatever Trump touches, it divides into two, us against them. With the NFL, all he had to do was, like King Division, put his finger on the NFL, and right away he divides the country. And now it's going pop, 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 pop. And he can sit back and eat the popcorn. That's what he does. He creates a pop and then eats the popcorn. He eats the pops. Well, how many pops did I get on that? Oh, I got a whole bucket full. How much popcorn can I create by attacking the NFL? How much popcorn can I create by attacking that sports writer? How much popcorn can I create by attacking anything? So he knows where culture's sore spots are. He just intuitively does this. Now, this doesn't make him a malevolent, evil person. It just makes him a product of culture. He is a function of culture. He is a function of division. From day one, he divided. The immigrants are coming, create a wall. Hillary's the other. Hillary's the enemy, lock her up. Obama is the enemy, lock him up. Obama's not even a real American. You see. So this division, if we get back to Wonder Woman, I'll have to look at the movie again, but the purpose of the Amazons was to kill Ares, the god of war, or the god of culture. Now, this doesn't mean you can't live without culture. We can't exist without culture, because culture is relationship. Our family is a culture. And we've been talking about this. You start with the mother-child bonding. If they do get to bond and the hospital doesn't intervene and separate them, if the mother and child get to bond, that's the original culture. And then that begins to expand as we grow. We're bonding with greater and greater worlds of culture. So the baby bonded with the mother then begins to explore the living room. He explores his body, and then he explores the living room, and then he explores the house, and then he's out in the town exploring the town. And all of us who grew up in a small town world remember how children were free to explore the town. My wife grew up here, and she was able to ride her bike all over Blackstone. There was no fear that somebody was going to snatch you. So this bonding increases so that you're constantly expanding, bonding, and relationship with the world. That's the true function of culture when it is aligned with the heart. See, culture is brain, mind, brain. Heart is universal ground. Unity, ego, individual, unique individual, ego, me. If I'm not connected with the heart, then me becomes enculturated in a field of division. So now there is this, everything is a threat to me. So I look at everything from just the head as a threat or a gain to me. What's in it for me? Do I gain or do I lose? It's a business deal. And again, this is Trump's view of the world. It's a business deal. How can I get something out of this? How can I win? I got to win all the time, you see. It's disconnected from the heart. Put it in a religious context, the heart of Christ, which is the universal heart, which is who we are. But see, even culture takes that and says, oh, who do you think you are, Jesus? Right away, dividing. Religion has been enculturated into division. So now you got the Christians against the gurus, and the Christians against the Christians, and the Christians against the atheists, and the Christians against the this and the that, you see. Christians against culture itself. Secular humanism is culture. Liberal culture. Now Christians are against liberals, science, and humans. But they're inside culture. They're not outside of culture. They're just a subculture of culture. Nothing's changed. It's just more pops. Culture pops. That's all it does. Pop, 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 pop. What's the new pop today? We go on the internet. I go to Huffington Post. What's the new pop today? I want a new pop. It's old pops are terrible. Every day it's got to have a new pop. Pop. Oh, that's new. But if we step back and view from the heart, it's all just pops. It's all just popping. Pop, 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 pop. As you get older, You'll notice you don't keep up with the cultural pops. And their new singers and movie stars, and say, who in the hell are they? Their new songs, where is that song? You go to the Emmys and the Oscars, they got all these movies. Where'd that movie come from? I haven't seen it. So as you get older, you get bored with the pops. You see that it's all just popping. But then that's also death, because there's nothing, there's no heart there. It's just popping, and you just take a nap and go live in a nursing home and die. Because when the pops go, there's nothing left but an empty pan. And that's not the answer either. So my bell rang, and I hope you'll stop in this evening for martini time.